Welcome again to our Torah Anytime Daily Zohar segment, part 2 of how to merit Olam Hazeh and Olam Haba. So last time we were talking about how to really grab the opportunity that comes your way, and as we just said, to take it with all the power that you have. An opportunity comes to your hand, take it with all the power that you have, give it all your effort. And that is not just a matter of an opportunity or a way to become successful, but rather also as a mindset. By committing yourself to something with all your power, you are bringing upon yourself something we call gvura. Gvura, heroism, mightness. You become very powerful, you're mighty, right? Internal strength that you bring upon yourself. And we says, another explanation, bekochacha, with your power, with all your power, zo ha'isha, refers to your wife. And we said, shehi ha'koach, she is the power, she gives you the strength, the ability, lidgaber ba ba'olam hazeh u ba'olam haba, to have the ability to really overcome and to push you to become the best you can in this world or in the world to come. In that koach, with this power, with the same attitude that you will have here, or the seeds that you would plant in this world, that attitude will carry you over ba'olam haba as well. You'll be able to continue with the same momentum in that world. So therefore, if you are lazy in this world, or you're not committed in this world, your ability to elevate up higher in Olam Haba would also be impaired. So the more you push yourself, the more you give it all your power, the more you commit and go really at full force at it, the higher you'll be able to elevate yourself in the what we call the real world, and we see soon, Bezrat Hashem, why we call it the real world. And the reason is like this: Mishum, because shele'achar sheha'adam yotzeh me'olam hazeh, after man leaves this world, when he dies, ein bo koach la'asot mashu, you don't have the ability nor the power to do anything anymore. You got your chances, and you know I'm very big at that. One chance, one life. You don't get, well, I'll fix it in next reincarnation or this. You have to get one life, and you have one chance to do it, and to do it right. They say about the Gra that when he was about to depart from this world, he was touching his tzitziot, and he was crying. And they asked him, "Why are you crying, Rabbeinu? Why are you crying?" And he said, "This mitzvah of tzitzit, I can fulfill this mitzvah sheshkula keneged kol haTorah kula, that is measured against all the mitzvot of the Torah with pennies. In Olam Haba, all the money in the world will not be able to give me the ability to fulfill this mitzvah of tzitzit, as I'm doing it here." In other words, Chazal say, "Haba liyadcha mitzvah, al tachmitzena." If you have an opportunity to do a mitzvah, don't miss it, because you don't know when and if you're going to ever have it again. Most likely you won't. Most likely you won't. Especially for you. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave you the opportunity now to learn. If you are not going to tap into that resource of learning, that vein that's drawn from heaven all the way down that would enable you to learn, that opportunity will be taken away from you and will be given to someone who really wants it and did not merit to have this opportunity. And once it's taken away from you, you're probably not going to get it back. You will have to wait your turn now for somebody else to drop his chances and then to give it to you, and you have to earn it. Right now it's given to you, then you have to earn it. And to earn something takes a lot of effort. So if you have an opportunity to learn, you learn. You make sure you learn. all your achievements in this world will mean absolutely nothing in the other world. Why? Because the first question they ask you is, did you set aside time to learn Torah? Yes or no? There's no, well, no, let me think about it. It's a yes or no question. Yes? All right, next question. No? Too bad. Well, too bad. There's nothing to talk about. So all the koach is here. And you're not going to have the power to do anything once you depart from this world. A person is not going to be able to say, well, from now on, I'm going to do good deeds. I'm going to change my ways. I'm going to become a better person. You're not going to be able to do that. It's over. It's over. And you're not going to blame everybody else. Blame yourself. Because it was given to you. Your life was giving it to you. Life. What did you do with this potential of life? Did you live it, or you actually tapped into it? Were you alive when you were alive, or are you just a zombie? What do you know about life? What life is all about? You don't want to ask yourself those questions, because God forbid you get an answer that does not fit with what is that you are doing right now. You might be scared. So, well, I'm not living life. So therefore, you know what? Let's not ask this question. Let's continue what we're doing. But one day or another, sooner, and hopefully much later, we're going to face with the reality in which we will have to give a report for the total sum of our life. And then what are you going to say? You're not going to be able to say, I'm going to change. There's no way to change anymore. It is finished. You had your chance. And it says, if a person did not merit to do so in this world, would not merit it in the world to come. That's it. And we explain, the parallel to that is, if you are going on a journey, you have to pack some food with you. You didn't prepare your sandwiches or whatever, you're not going to eat. You're not going to eat. Your reward will be based on the effort of how well prepared are you. I mean, so in a way, it's a very scary thought. We're looking forward. I mean, we're preparing, and whether you like it or not, we prepare every single day to the end. Every day since we were born, we're getting closer to death. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what it was meant to be, that's what it was meant to be. That's what we're going to. All right, so let's try to make the best out of it. But regardless of whether I like it or not, I'm not going to be able to change it. I'm not going to be able to change it. Okay, I'm not going to die. We're all going to die. So whether I acknowledge it or don't acknowledge it, whether I live in denial or not, it's not going to change the fact. So why am I running from? What am I hiding from? You have an opportunity. Tap into it. I told you, my Rabbi used to tell me, the first one who wants to marry you, marry her. And I see it more and more as years progress as an absolutely unbelievable advice on how to get married, because you always think you're going to get something better, then it's never the same. The opportunity was taken away from you. And the Zohar continues, it says, V'yesh ma'asim tovim, there are good deeds that a person does in this world, she'ochel mehem kan ba'olam hazeh, the reward is given to you here in this world. Not everything. We are very, one-track, person, or one way of thinking. We are very, especially in the West, we are very reward-oriented. I want the belt system in the martial arts. I want to get this. I want to get this. Right after the other. How much am I getting? I'm doing some immediate reward, immediate gratification. Does not teach us anything besides being impatient. So sometimes you will do things and you won't get the reward here. You will get it paid as, let's call it post-dated checks. What's wrong with post-dated checks when you have HaKadosh Baruch Hu signing it? I don't see anything wrong with that. But there are certain things which you do the good deeds and you're going to get the zchut in this world. And there are some that there are many good deeds that a person will do that will be saved for you, for your benefit, for you to benefit in the world to come, in Olam Haba. Let's say, for example, you have a boss who's telling you, listen, as much as you're going to contribute to your 401k or whatever it is, I'm going to match it. So I said, why you, instead of putting it to my retirement fund, why don't you just give it to me now? He's going to tell you, if I give it to you now, you're going to spend it. I care about you more than you're willing to realize that I do. Probably more than you care about yourself. There's going to be time that you're not going to be able to work. You're going to be old. How are you going to live? Save now. We're going to wait for Social Security. There's not going to be any Social Security. Who guarantees there's going to be Social Security? So save your money up. And whatever you put, I'll match it. So there are some mitzvot lehavdil that work on a similar concept. And it says, come and see. Yosef zacha ba'olam hazeh vezacha ba'olam haba. Yosef HaTzadik was able to benefit from his actions both in this world and in the next world. Why? Mishum sheratza lehe'achez be'isha yirat Hashem. He tried as much as he can to attach himself to a woman who is a God-fearing woman. The looks didn't make such a difference to him, more of what is important to him. And you'll get what you decide to define as most important to you. You have a list, you make your wish, God hears you. And that's what you want to do. So all my power is to connect myself to a woman who is a God-fearing woman. And it says, V'chatati la'elokim, and I sin for Hashem. When he talks to, when they're talking with Paro. Umishum zeh, and because of that, because that was his desire, Zachalim shol ba'olam hazeh. He get the merit to rule this world. He was at the time, in the ancient world, the most powerful man around. He controlled everything. V'zikait Israel, and because of that he was able to benefit Bnei Israel, his brothers, his family, Am Israel. V'katuv v'elaket Yosef, and Yosef gathered. Why? Sheken ra'ui liyot, this is the way it should be. Ki oto hanahar nimshach vayotze mi'eden. Now we jumping into a Kabbalistic metaphor. There was a Gan Eden. You see, because everything that we have in this world, there is a identical thing to it in the other world. So in this world, we had Gan Eden, the Garden of Eden, which the Torah gives it a very specific parameter. From Prat, Chidekel, Ne'ar Mitzrayim, that was the area of Gan Eden, Alei Adamot, on this earth. That Gan Eden turned into something else. In Shamayim it stayed. But that river, the Nahar, which comes out of Eden, is Melaketa Kol, collects everything. Therefore there's a tremendous blessing. Usually around the river you'll find a lot of fertile soil. Even in the middle of the desert, and when I went to Egypt it was amazing to see how there is, really, it's a desert. It's not a joke. It's a desert. And then all of a sudden, you see this green strip of the river that brings all the soil from all the way in Upper Egypt and Upper Africa, over there. And it brings the soil, and it's fertile soil. You see this green vein grows through the country, which is unbelievable. So is in the spiritual world. There is a river of wealth, of bracha, that draws out from its source up in Shamayim, in the spiritual world. Umelaketa kol, v'kol ha'ashirut nimtzet po, And all wealthiness, the whole bracha, all the blessings come from it, with it. וזהו סוד שכתוב, ויתן אותם אלוקים ברקיע השמיים. This is the secret, and what it says in Sefer Bereshit, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu put them in the heavens, והכל הוא כמו שראוי להיות. And this is, everything is according to the way it should be. Why? כי ודאי שיוסף היה צריך למשול על המלכות. For sure, Yosef was determined, or predetermined, to rule over Mitzrayim. ובואו ראה, and come and see, וירכב אותו במרכבת המשנה. מרכבה is a chariot. מרכבת המשנה, it's a secondary chariot. What does it mean, secondary chariot? Why, the Pasuk should have said, and he gave him a chariot to run. Why Merkevet HaMishneh? The secondary. Mishneh is secondary, right? Like a deputy and a sheriff, right? Lahavdil. Right? Mishneh is a deputy, right? Ma'u Merkevet HaMishneh. What does it mean? HaKadosh Baruch Hu asai et tzaddik Moshe. HaKadosh Baruch Hu took the righteous one and made him to be the center. Moshe, not necessarily a ruler, but more of the center. Umisham mimeno nizon haolam. The world would get its nourishment from that center that's called the tzaddik. There will be righteous people that everything around them, everything that will go, they will flourish. Why? Because they are the receptacle in which they draw the wealth into this world. They are like the canyon in which the river of wealth comes down. And that's them. Because of that, everything around becomes fertile. Again, look at countries in where Jews were in it. They always flourished. The Jews who were oppressed, forced out, they fell down. Because Am Yisrael, the Jews, are nourished not by a sign, astrology, and not by angel, and not by any other form. They've been nourished by God Himself. The Jews are not there. There's no nourishment. God takes care of these Jews. That's why to all those anti-Semites, they think that they will be able to exterminate the Jews. They could not be more wrong. There could not be more of a false statement than that, because you can't win God. Kadosh Baruch Hu takes care of the Jews. And this is the way it should be. והקדוש ברוך הוא יש לו מרכבה עליונה. And there is the upper chariot. There is the upper chariot, מרכבה עליונה, in Shamayim. Like Yechezkel, when he saw the vision, or should we say Ezekiel, he saw the vision, the upper chariot. ויש לו מרכבה תחתונה, and he has a lower chariot. והמרכבה התחתונה, the lower chariot of this world, is called מרכבת המשנה, the secondary. ויוסף, and Yosef was called tzaddik. וצדיק לא ראוי להיות רוכב על מרכבת המשנה. And who's going to ride, who's going to drive this lower chariot in this world? He who is titled by the title tzaddik. אשר לו לקדוש ברוך הוא, the chariot belongs to הקדוש ברוך הוא. והכל הוא בסוד העליון להיות כאין של מעלה. And everything has to be done in this world in the same format. It's a concept, it's somewhat of a secret, but everything in this world has to be in the same format as it is above. For example, up in heaven there is a court. We have to have courts. Both Jews and Gentiles have to have courts. There are different attributes that could not be mixed. Here too. There is a source of, let's call it in this world there's an embassy of the upper chariot. You have to be here. Who would write it? He who would be appropriate. How do you become appropriate? You have to attach yourself to a righteous woman, which will be the chip, which would enable you to do everything the right way. Would take all the potential that was given into you and gear it into the right path. That's why it's important to first of all determine if the woman is a God-fearing woman, not if she rides this kind of a car or she has this color hair or any of the things. Why? It's for your self-fulfillment and for the benefit of everything around you. May we all be zocher to be called tzaddikim, because it says ve'amcha kulam tzaddikim, all Am Yisrael kulam tzaddikim ma'aseh yadai litpaer. It's something we should live up to the level that Kadosh Baruch Hu would be proud of us. These are my people, these are my babies. So we all be zocher for that, and b'schut zeh Am Yisrael will be able to give nourishment, will be the appropriate receptacle. We should all become appropriate receptacles to give nourishment and blessing not only to us, but to the whole entire world. Amen.